There comes a moment when waiting feels heavier than pain, not because you're suffering, but because you're unsure if it still matters to hope. You've done the right things, prayed the prayers, held on when others walked away, stayed faithful when it would have been easier to quit. And still, the door stays closed. The silence lingers. The answer doesn't come. And you start to wonder, did God forget about me? Let's be real. Waiting tests the deepest part of your faith. Not just what you believe about God, but whether you believe He still sees you when nothing is moving. But here's what I want you to remember. A delay is not a denial, and a not yet is not the same as no. See, we often confuse silence with absence. But silence is where trust is refined. Delay is where character is formed. And the waiting season? It's not a holding cell. It's a holy classroom. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. Because what you're asking for, it doesn't just require opportunity. It requires capacity. And capacity is grown in places where nothing looks like it's happening, where you water the ground and see no fruit, yet keep showing up anyway. That's maturity. That's faith. That's trust on a deeper level than convenience. Sometimes the real miracle isn't in what you get after the wait. It's who you become in the wait. God knows when the weight of your calling is heavier than your current shoulders can carry. So He strengthens you before He sends you, not to slow you down, but to make sure you won't fall when it finally comes. You may feel behind. You may feel late. But God is never in a hurry, and He's never late. Timing is everything. And when it's His timing, no force in hell or on earth can stop what's already been written. Sometimes the door doesn't open because God is still building what's behind it. Sometimes the answer doesn't come because He's still shaping you to receive it. This isn't easy. I know. You're watching people get what you've been praying for. You're clapping for others with a quiet ache in your chest. You've asked God, did I miss it? Did I mess it up? But you didn't miss it. You're not late. You're not forgotten. You're being refined, not rejected. And when the time comes, you'll be ready. It's easy to trust God when things move fast. It's harder to trust Him when things go quiet. But real faith? It lives in the waiting. That's where roots go deep. That's where dependence is formed. That's where you learn to walk by faith and not by sight. You're not in the dark because God abandoned you. You're in the dark because He's planting something deep. And some of the most beautiful things God does, He does in secret. So breathe. Be still. Keep showing up in prayer. Keep trusting when it doesn't make sense. Because one day, without warning, everything will shift. And what once felt delayed will come rushing in with clarity and purpose. And you'll look back and realize, the wait wasn't a waste. It was a foundation. You don't have to prove your faith by forcing the door open. Sometimes the holiest thing you can do is wait in peace, knowing the one who holds time also holds your heart. If this spoke to your season, like it, share it, speak it, and subscribe to Daily Call with Jesus, where faith gets real and waiting hearts find hope. You're not being overlooked. You're being shaped. You're not being denied. You're being aligned. It's delayed, not denied. And when it comes, it'll be right on time.